Hare Krishna.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nashtaprayeshu Avadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavate Uttama Sloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naistiki Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nandagopa Kumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha Namaha Pankajanabhaya Namaha Pankajamaline Namaha Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangrehe Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manovishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desattarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Rama Hare 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 Krishna. So welcome you all on our ongoing discussion on Srimad Bhagavatam. So we will be starting today from chapter I think we are on Canto 3, chapter 9, isn't it? Yes.
Yes, that's true.
Yes. So we'll start from chapter 9. Yeah. So when we see that how Maitreya Muni started narrating about how Brahmaji creates this cosmos again. So Brahma start praying to Vishnu, and we see in yesterday that how he was praying to his lotus feet, to his his body like mountains, like flowers, and his chest and his it's unending, and he could see Shesha. So he was Ananta Shesh, he was lying on that. After seeing that, then described Lord Brahma two very very important thing in this chapter. In chapter 9 says, person who smell the aroma of your lotus feet carried by the air of Vedic sound through the holes of ears. So let's try to understand this. He says the person who is smelling the aroma of lotus feet. So aroma we smell through our nose normally, isn't it? Anything we smell through our nostril. But here it is saying that the devotees who are in the devotional service of yours, they smell this aroma through the Vedic sound and through their holes, through the holes of ears. So Vedic sounds, I mean, hearing the Vedic sounds is basically kind of smelling Lord's feet aroma, right? So again, try to understand this point that, we are smelling. So one sense work is being done by the other sense now. So through ears, the devotee, they smell the aroma of lotus feet. By what? By the Vedic sound. So the literature, what we have got, Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So when the devotee, they discourse or discuss about these things, they actually smell the aroma of Krishna's lotus feet through their ear. And that is why the ear is very, very important, or hearing is very, very important, right? And then they say that, when a person starts hearing about you, they accept your devotional service. And for them, you are never separated from their lotus of their heart. So, it means Krishna, the devotees who try to smell the lotus feet through the ears by the Vedic sound, for them, Krishna is never separated. He's always there in their heart. Right. So that's one analogy he's give. And in next he says about the person or the devotees, they see they see you through the ears by the process of bona fide hearing. And now the ear did a kind of job of nostril. It smell through the Vedic sound, and now seeing also. To Lord we can see through our ear. And then Krishna, by what? By the process of bona fide hearing. So that's an again important point comes. The bona fide hearing is required to see Lord through ears. So imagine, can we see something through our ears? Can we smell something from our nose? No. But through the Vedic sounds, the what we are hearing and chanting these names, we can see Krishna, we can smell Krishna's lotus feet through our ears. And by that, Krishna never goes away from the heart, and he starts cleaning our heart. And by cleaning the heart, Krishna makes the heart as his residence. Right. So the two important thing today we understood is Krishna, to know Krishna, to see Krishna, or to smell the aroma of Krishna, we need to hear from a bona fide teacher, or we need to hear Srimad Bhagavatam. We need to understand the oral reception by our ears to the scriptures of Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. And by that, devotees, they hear Srimad Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita, and here by hearing they smell, and by hearing they see Lord as well. And that's important of both things, right? So some of you have joined now, but I'll repeat it again. So what Brahmaji is praying to Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu, that the devotees normally they smell your lotus feet, the aroma of your lotus feet through their ears. By what? By hearing your discourse, by hearing Krishna Katha. By hearing Krishna Katha, we smell the lotus feet, the aroma of lotus feet. First point. Second point, he says, even by seeing, by hearing, the devotees, they see you. So the job of two senses, like the nostril and his eyes, are being done by ears, just by hearing Krishna Katha from a bona fide parampara, bona fide teacher, right? And then Krishna cleanses the heart, and when he cleanses the heart, he makes it sit, and he remains there in the heart of the pure devotees. And hence you are so merciful to your devotees. You manifest, the Brahmaji is saying, you manifest yourself in the particular eternal form of transcendence in which they are always think of you. So the devotees, who always think of you, you manifest them in front of them as well, in your particular eternal form. Eternal form is 200 Shyam form. That is eternal form. Sometimes people say, Krishna hates, everything is formless, but Krishna has an eternal form as like we, right? So he is a person as well. It's not impersonal. He is a person during his pastime in Golok Vrindavan. And by this two glorification, then Brahmaji request Lord to Lord that please empower me to create this cosmos, and also protect me from false ego, because if you create a huge thing, a false ego might come, because I have done it. Normally we see in our material thing, whenever someone done so many kind of very good work or something extraordinary, we get a false ego in that. And Brahmaji praying, so please protect me, Vishnu, please protect me from the false ego, and also that I should not deviate from the path of devotion to you. So these three requests he says. And then there is one nice verse. Basically this is being used in the temple to awaken the deities. So there he says, I'll read the verse, it's very nice. He says, the Lord, who is the supreme and is the oldest of all, is unlimitedly merciful. I wish that he may smilingly bestow his benediction upon me by opening his lotus eye. He can uplift the entire cosmic creation and remove our dejection by kindly speaking his direction. So Krishna within us as a Paramatma, he directs us as well, and he's praying, Lord Brahma, so please wake up and show me give me a glance of yours, And in a similar way, in the deity, in our temples, when the pujari, they wake up the deities, they sing this prayer to say, please bestow your benediction upon us by opening your lotus eye. You have been sleeping for the night, so please wake up and give a darshan to us. And that's what Brahmaji also saying to Krishna, please wake up and glance to our us, so that we can, just by the glance of Krishna's, all our kind of dejections get removed, or the metal contamination, metal hankering, that gets removed by just the glance of Krishna's. Yesterday we discussed about how the nails of Krishna's are important, right? It's called Nakhachandra. So the moon-like nails. So the moon-like rays comes from the nails of lotus feet of Krishna, and which actually showers a lot of mercy to the devotees, right? These are the important points from chapter 9, and then we will be entering to chapter 10. Yes. So in this chapter, in chapter 10, there is a Maitreya Muni describes about the division of creations. Though we have seen it earlier in our one of the slide where we seen that the mystery of creation, that's again been described in a more detail by Maitreya Muni here. And then first, very initially, Vidura asked him questions. After he sees the Krishna, after he sees Vishnu and he glorified Vishnu, Vishnu showered the mercy. Okay, Brahma, do not get bewildered. Everything is there for you. Whatever you need, everything is there. By showering everything, by showering mercy to Brahma, and he, as Vishnu went up, what did Brahma do after that? That's a question from Vidura. And then Maitreya Muni says, the Brahma again meditated for 100 celestial years. And after meditation, he could see that the ocean is, the water is very, very trembling, and there is so much wind. And after seeing that, Brahma enters into the stem of lotus, and there he created 3 divisions of those. And in 3 divisions, he created 14 planetary system. And first is the lower planet, basically the Patala Lokas, or with Atal, Vital, Sutal, Talatal, Mahatal, Rasatal, and Patal. So these are 7 hellish planets, you can say. He created. After that, he created a middle planet. The 3 sections, one is a hellish planet, and then comes the middle planet, that is where we live, Burloka and Bhuvarloka. And then upper planet is being created by them, 3rd division, that is Shwarloka. And then still higher to that, 3 more are there: Maharloka, Tapaloka, Satyaloka, and Brahmaloka. A Brahmaloka where Brahma resides. And by creating all these, then Vidura asks another question. So please speak something about time. What is time? And then in couple of verses, the time has been described. And again in chapter 11, time is described in a more detail. And it says the time is actually cause of interaction of modes. Time is without attribute. This time is without beginning and without end. And this time is efficient cause of creation. So in spiritual world, so in material world, the time actually it interacts with the modes, and then cosmos starts. And then it says that even the time divides the universe into 14 planets, and even it's a cycle like day and night, seasons, year, those cycles defined by time as well. And after that, he described about the 10 division of creations. So what are those? We have already gone through, but it's in a more detail. He said the first primary creation. Primary creation is done by Lord Vishnu himself. That is called as Sarga. And he said we understood that all the ingredient required for creation, that is all Mahatattva. And then from Mahatattva, it comes false ego, the Ahankara, then the sense objects, Tanmatras, then senses, then the mind, then the Devatas or demigods, and then Avidya, that is ignorance, is being manifested. And after that, Brahma creates 3 types of secondary creation. What are those? he says there are lower species. See, imagine how our Vedic knowledge is there in the scriptures. He says there are lower species who nourish themselves horizontally. Like any animal, cow, dog, pig, duck, everything. What does that mean? It means they nourish themselves horizontally. If you see, the backs are up and they are all straight. From one side they eat, and from it get nourishment, and from other side the waste is being taken out. Right? That's one horizontal nourishment happens for all the animals. What you see, any animals you can see, right? And then he says the second point is vertical nourishment. So horizontal one, all the lower species, cow, pig, duck, dog, horse, everything. And then in vertical, there are two division. One is upward nourishment. Those are immovable, like trees. So they take everything from the roots and the whole tree is nourished, isn't it? When we put water on the roots, the whole tree get nourished. That is upward nourishment. And then he says the second type of vertical nourishment is downward nourishment, and those are we human being. We eat, so we eat from our mouth, which is up, and then your body get nourished, and then waste material goes from the down. So that is downward nourishment. So these three creation has been done by Brahma. And then again, fourth type of creation done again by Brahma. Those are all the devatas, the vibhus, the pitras, the asuras, the gandharvas, akshas, siddhas, and all those are being created by Brahma. So these comes under the secondary creation and created by Lord Brahma. That's been described in chapter 10. I'll read a purport. Prabhupada says there in chapter 10. Prabhupada says the Siddhas are inhabitant in Siddhaloka, where the residents travel in space without vehicles. So we need vehicles, but they don't need any vehicles. At their mere will, they can pass from one planet to another without any difficulty. Even for us to go from Glasgow to London, we need something, and they can travel from planet to planets. Therefore, in the upper planets, the inhabitants are far superior to the inhabitants of this planet in all matters of art, culture, science, since they possess brains superior to those of human beings, and that's being defined as Siddhalokas. So just imagine that is higher, and they are in fact superior to us in everything. Technology is more higher on them. They can travel without any vehicle from planets to planets, right? And then in chapter 11, it describes more about time. What time is, a division of times. As we see matter, a small atom and the bigger, the time also is defined. So we call it Parmanu. Parmanu is basically the very smallest particle which is undivisible. And Param Mahan is basically the totality of all Parmanus, everything that comes in that. In the similar way, this is matter. In the similar way, time is divided. This is called as Paramanutam. Paramanutam, basically, this is called as time covered by sun in passing over an atom. When the time required by sun to travel or pass over an atom is called as Paramanutam, and Paramamahan is the time which actually expanded from the beginning of creation till destruction of universe. So one small slight movement of sun is Paramanutam, and Paramahan is the whole process of dissolution. And again, Maitreya Muni asks, Vidura asks some more question. So please describe more about this, more about the time. And then more divisions of times are given. Prabhupada writes there about all the different kind of more granular division of time in this purport. And then it describes about 5 types of years, the seasons, and other things. And then Vidura asks about the lifespan of beyond Brahma. And then we understood already also, we've seen it, but here he says, So one Chatur Yoga, that is basically called as Dibya Yoga. In one Dibya Yoga, we have 4 yogas: Shata Yoga, Treta Yoga, Dwapar Yoga, and Kali Yoga. This comprises of one Chatur Yoga, or called as Dibya Yoga. And in our calculation, it comes nearly around 43 lakhs years. However, for devatas, for the demigods, it's just 12,000 years. So 12,000 years of devatas is called as one Chatur Yoga for human life, right? And then he says about dharma. We understood that 4 dharmas in one. The 4 principles, dharmic principles, is 1/4 goes away from Satya to Kali, and right now Kali has just standing on one leg. We seen that the bull, dharma, the bull is standing on one leg when Parikshit Maharaj was chastising to Kali. And then he says above Swarga is the Maharloka, Janaloka, Tapaloka, and Satyaloka, and their duration of one day is 1,000 Chatur Yuga. And we understood that Brahma's life one day is 1,000 Chatur Yuga. And at the end of Brahma, the night also goes for 1,000 Chatur Yuga. And then in every day, 14 Manus rule in one day of Brahma. And the ruling type of one Manu is 71 Chatur Yuga. It comes nearly 71 to 72 in between that. And that is called as Manvantra. And in one Manvantra, there are 7 sages. So more technical information is given by Maitreya Muni, quoting a discussion between Brahma to Vidura. He's saying that no, these conversation happened earlier, and what I have heard from our parampara, I am narrating this to you. And then he explains about Lord Brahma has also 2 divisions. So 100 years of Brahma is divided into 2 parts. That's called as Parardha. Parardha means Dviparardha, 2 Parardha. 1/2 of 50 years and then 1/2 of 50 years. And as per the purport written by Prabhupada here, Prabhupada says right now we are on 2nd Prarabdha. Even Prabhupada says this is being confirmed by Srila Vishnu Thakur, that we are on the 2nd Prarabdha. And even more technical terms, like there are more kind of kalpa, the Brahma kalpa, Padma kalpa, Baraha kalpa are being explained in this chapter. So interesting is that this whole lifespan of Brahma is insignificant in terms of Lord Vishnu's. So it says, time, because it says time cannot control Lord. And this universe looks as small as Parmanu when they come out of the bodily porous of Mahavishnu. You've seen this picture, isn't it, earlier, that Brahma, from Mahavishnu, when he breathes out, the all comes from his porous. And this all looks like very, very small, tiny kind of, walnuts kind of things. And then he confirmed that Sri Krishna is therefore the original cause of all causes. And the Brahma Samhita, we hear the same thing. Govindam Adi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Alright. And hence he described more about the spiritual abode of Vishnu is that it's eternal and supreme. Then again, after defining these time creations, then Brahmaji Maitreya start describing about how the creation happens, how the actual living entity came in the existence. So it says, Brahmaji says, from Brahmaji, very first thing, 5 Jnana-vritti or feature of ignorance being created by Brahmaji. And what are those? Let's understand it, try to understand it basically. So first is ignorance, that is tamas. Or what is ignorance? Ignorance is basically ignorance of our identity. That is soul. We do not know that we are soul and we are a part of Lord. That is the first ignorance. And then the second ignorance or second creation is moham. Moham is basically kind of accepting this material designation. I am this, I am Indian, I am this, I have done, I am an engineer, I am a doctor. This is the kind of misidentification of body. And then a second comes Mahamoham. What is that? Being considering this as body, we also consider our bodily positions and relations to with relations everything with this own body. That is Mahamoha. And then when we do not satisfy our senses, we becomes anger and frustration. That's also coming from Brahmaji. And then the last one, fifth one, is sense of death. So after seeing these creations and these qualities, Brahmaji got a bit upset, and he said, why I did create it, and then he was dissatisfied by his after this creation. And then again, with mode of goodness, he created 4 Kumaras, or from Vidya. 4 Kumaras, we know the Chatush Kumara who try to remain as child. So the 4 Kumaras are Sanaka, Sanandana, Sanatana, and Sanat Kumar. Normally we speak them as Chatush Kumar or 4 Kumaras. And Brahmaji told, okay, my dear son, go and now increase progeny. So increase the population here. However, these 4 Kumaras, they were liberated from birth, and they said, I'm sorry, we could not do anything. We will always remain this as a child, and we don't increase any progeny. However, Brahmaji thought, okay, that's a good thing, however, but he got a bit angry. And by just angry, he could not control his anger, and from his middle of eyes, Rudra take birth. And Rudra is an Amsa, or incarnation of Lord Shiva. And as he born, he was crying, and he asked, why I'm here, and please give me some place to stay. And as he was crying, his name became Rudra. And then Brahmaji told, okay, expanded him to 11 forms, 11 Rudras, and he also given the 11 wives. Okay, so you now do the job. You please increase the progeny. And as the quality of Rudra, all the ghost spirits started manifesting. And then Brahmaji got a bit more distressed as well. And he requested, please you stop your more creation, and please do meditate. You do not need anymore to generate living entities of this nature, because they are actually they were trying to devour the entire universe. And hence Brahmaji said, please stop it. You just go and do tapasya, do meditation. And then Brahmaji was still in a bit dissatisfied. What shall I do next? And then from Brahmaji's body and mind, 10 more sages or sons were born. And those were Marichi, Atri, Angira, Pulatsya, Pohala, Krita, Bhrugu, Vashishta, Daksha, and the 10th son was Narad Muni, as also born from there. And then Dharma, the religion, he created from his chest, and the Adharma came from his back. And then he says, also it's described that how the lust, desire, anger, and the power of speech, this also comes from Brahmaji again. And then he says, okay, you 10, please go and increase the progeny, or increase the population and fill up this entire world with populations. However, somehow the other, these 10 were not capable of doing this as Brahmaji wanted. Then Brahmaji, he manifested another, that 11th son, called as Kardamba Muni. And he also manifested Dehuhuti. And Dehuhuti was manifested from the shadow of Brahma. And then these two actually did increase the progeny. And in between, there is one more description is there. There is a daughter being created by Brahmaji, whose name was Vak. And this has a very important point to play in our role. Uh, Somehow or other, by seeing seeing the daughter, Brahmaji even got attracted towards the his daughter in a lusty desire. And however, the Vak has no intention or no inclination towards him, and she started running. And by seeing this, all these sons, they were like headed by Marishi, they prayed to Brahma. Brahmaji, you are so you are the one who all respects, and you are the one who people are going to follow. So it's not a good thing for you to do. So please do not do this kind of activity, right? And then uh, also even the Marishi's son, there were 6 sons of Marishi, and they laughed at Brahmaji by this act. And if you remember, we all know that Mother Devaki and Vasudeva, the first 6 sons have been killed by Kansas, isn't it? And these sons were the sons of Marishi. There's a more detail in that. We'll take somewhere when we reach 10 canto over there. So that is how these 6 sons were coming from there. And then they prayed, so you are the most powerful being and this does not suit you, so please do not do it. And then somehow Brahmaji stopped it. The learning comes from here, that why this being described to teach us something. What is that? That first thing is, it teaches that attraction towards the opposite danger is very, very deep rooted, and one must be very cautious on controlling the senses, right? And this teaching not to be taken to disrespect Brahmaji. So what Prabhupada writes, that the great souls, due to some circumstances, commit these mistakes, but they restrain their senses very soon and continue in the right path. However, those who partake in blaming them or criticizing them, they will be affected. So that's a learning. What the learning is, 3 things. We should see the right as right and wrong as wrong. Yes, Lord Brahma has done it, so it's wrong. However, we should not disrespect the great souls. And the third learning is that we should learn that those he was liberated, those who was elevated souls, they can come in this influence. So who we are we? So we should be cautious in our self. We should be kind of more taking control of our senses, right? And hence, so Brahmaji should not be disrespected, because as soon as he was instructed by his son, he came again back to his right path, right? And the point is, we need to be very careful in our dealings. So sometimes happen, a great personalities or some more known persons do some mistakes, and it's being spread a lot. But we need to understand that if these great souls can be affected, then we can be affected as well. So we need to restrain ourselves from there. And then there are more further creations happens, and then Manu has been created, and Manu and Satyarupa, it's 12:35. Yeah. So now the creation is going to start no more. So Swayambhu Manu and Satyarupa, these are being created by Brahmaji, because the 10 sons, they were not able to, they had some deficiency, and they could not grow the population well. And by contemplating, a couple came from Brahmaji. Those were Swayambhu Manu and Satyarupa. And third canto, from here till fourth, and also some chapter 5 canto also covers about the description or the lineage and descendant of these children from Swayambhu Manu and Satyarupa. So they got 5 children, 2 sons, Priyavrata and Uttanapad. From Uttanapad we will hear about Dhruva Maharaj lineage. And then there are 3 daughters, Akuti, Prasuti and Dehuhuti. So Akuti was given to a sage named Ruchi, and Dehuti was given to Kardama Muni, and Prasuti was given to Daksha Prajapati. And we know about the from Daksha Prajapati. It again comes in the Canto 5. That's how Daksha Prajapati has a daughter named Sati, and Sati is being married to Lord Shiva, and the whole we'll discuss over there as well. And then after this, Swambhu Manu, he accepted the request of his father. He said, okay, I will do that, but I need some place. Where shall I do it? Because to create the population, we need some place. And there we entered chapter 13, where Vidura inquires more about Manu. He says, what did Swambhu Manu do after obtaining his very longing wife? So, and then the Manu is basically called as the original king of kings. This is called as Manu. And he was a great devotee. He used to be a great devotee of personality of Godhead, Krishna and Hari. And it's worth hearing about his character and activities. So important thing comes here that, we hear about Krishna, that is glorious as well. Also glorious to hear about the devotees of Krishna. Right. So understanding or hearing about devotees of Krishna are also as beneficial as hearing about Krishna Katha, because they are devotees of Lord, and they by the association of those, or by hearing about those, we can also take shelter of Krishna. By hearing these great souls, we also understand how to serve Krishna, isn't it? And by that, I think we will take it's already 2040. I think we will continue chapter 13. How did Manu start his progeny, and then the 5 children, how they grow, everything. We will continue it tomorrow, hopefully. Yeah. Yes, we will continue tomorrow from chapter 13. Any questions? I know it's a bit more technical today, because so many technicalities been described by Lord Brahma, and this been narrated to Vidura by Maitreya Muni.
Prabhu, one question.
Yes, please.
Prabhu, whatever you explained today, it kind of bounced.
Yeah, I know.
And it was a bit out of the ordinary. So whenever you get time, if you could explain this chapter once more.
Okay. So
I would be grateful.
Okay.
Whenever you get chance.
I know it was a bit more technical. I understood it, because it's kind of scientific thing. Prabhupada, even in one of the Prabhupada writes that the scientists, they have taken these verses and started calculating about the atom and the time and everything over there as well. So yeah, it's a bit more a technical thing, I know. So yeah, we will try to understand it again, because the thing that when we will hear it again and again, it will come to our head and then to our hearts.
And Prabhu, I mean, not only this Kartik month, of course, this month, you said is a very auspicious month. So I believe we will continue with this after this month also, correct?
I do not have any problem. It's all you, as you wish. Yeah, because I think within Purushottam months we might not be able to complete everything, but see, I'm trying to go